Actually, there are a lot of ways that it's quite different from the television series. On the series, they found such an incredible way of creating a cinematic, episodic experience. This takes that and goes full cinema in a way that we haven't seen this. It'll be, I think, 7 years since the last Star Wars movie, but also the kind of large-scale adventure film for every kind of audience that I think was born in the period of the original Star Wars movies. And it is unadulterated fun, and with characters that we've come to know and love, and new characters that you just will never expect. It amazes me the genius of Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, all of the creators around this world in particular, and the way that they honor George Lucas and his original creations and build new things from that original source. I keep on thinking there's no new way to top this, and they keep on finding ways. There's very, very particularly challenging action for me in the movie, and there's also so much of the incredible fighting style and movements and gunslinging created by the two greatest actors and stunt doubles that I've ever gotten the chance to work with, that I have been working with from the beginning of creating the show from the start, Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder. I can't say which we were seeing. I suspect Lateef was heavy in a lot of what we saw just now.
Well, I'll tell you that I have some nephews, little guys, and they made me little Grogu creatures from a cheese wrapping of wax that I still have. I started to understand the importance of Grogu, and then once you meet him, of course, you fall in love. But it's very meaningful to me to be asked to join this universe. There's so many beloved films, stories, and so much good acting that has gone into these films. So I felt very honored and thrilled to be part of these new stories. She came up with a rebellion. She's a fighter pilot. And now she's in charge of sort of the outer rim, where there's a lot going on. Little, empire. There's a lot of bad guys there. And so I have the good sense to hire the Mandalorian. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's like, you challenge yourself to say, well, I think the instinct is to say, how do you make this bigger and better? But then you remember in Star Wars, the size matters not so much. And what we're lucky to have in Mandalorian and Grogu are great characters. And those characters carry so much of it. Their relationship carries so much of it. So you really look at, well, what's the pivotal thing about these characters? What are we trying to say about them? It becomes more a question of that. And then your emotions scaling, your heart is scaling, your investment in them is scaling. And that's what you really want to make it truly special. And with John leading it, he's such a wonderful filmmaker. He's made such incredible movies, and they always have tremendous heart. That's what you know about John. He brings that, and it's not easy, and a lot of people can't do it as well. But that's why I love working with him and learning from him and what he brings to each project. And he's given Star Wars a great gift in Grogu. So of course, Grogu should be on the big screen and with John leading it. It's very exciting. Talk about him? Yeah. He's great. He's grown so much since I first knew him. Not physically, he stayed pretty much the same size, but he can do things now that he never could do when we first started. He was just in that little egg. He was very shy. He was afraid to use his powers. Ahsoka helped Mando understand some of that because she could really speak to him and tell him his name. And so we've evolved it very slowly over time. And now, he can do things that just weren't possible before. You see him growing up a little bit, which is very special. And I think the audience relates to that because now they've followed him for so many years. So this is a great moment for Grogu.
I think the challenge, it was mostly opportunities, things we didn't get to do on the show that I got to do. The show, we had to finish it in less than a year, and to deliver something that looks like a film quality, which normally takes much longer. Here we had, a few years to do it. So we got to build more sets. We got to plan things more rigorously. We got to design more costumes and outfits and creatures and stop motion. Those are things you need time to do. The challenge is you want to make it appealing to people and invite new people who might not have seen the series to come. So like if you have 3 people that want to bring a friend, if the friend didn't see the show, you want to introduce those new people to Star Wars as well. And fortunately, most people know the characters. They know Mandalorian and Grogu. They've seen them on social media. They've seen fan art. They've seen clips. But they might not know every single storyline. So you can build on that knowledge of the characters without asking that everybody goes and watches or rewatches every episode of the show. We really want to make it enjoyable to people who've never seen it. Of course, if you've seen it, there's much more for you. But we didn't want that to be a dividing line. Because movies are something where you could, if you want to watch a show that, especially nowadays, if I like a show, my wife doesn't like a show, I'll watch it separately. But a movie you want to go to together. And you want it to be fun for everybody. And Star Wars is uniquely suited for that, because even the first film, New Hope called now, but it was called Star Wars when it came out, it starts off with a crawl that tells you what just happened. So it drops you in the middle of the story. But because the characters are so iconic and the imagery is so strong and it's so mythic, you can really lean into that. And so we really try to embrace that aspect of Star Wars, because we're coming back to the big screen after many years away. And we wanted to make it a experience that invites in a whole new generation.